Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Live Your Life by the Numbers. Today, we're going to discuss the universal vibration for the year 2024. I'm going to show you how you compute it, and then I'm going to show you how you compute your own personal year vibration from that universal vibration. So let's get started and let's do a deep dive so I can share my screen with you. 2022 equals a 24/6 year. Now, we know that if we add 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 2, that equals 6. So we are in a 6 universal year. Everybody all around the world, everybody's in a 6 universal year, and the vibrations of that 6 universal year affect everyone. Now, where do I get, how do I get, where do I get, how do I arrive at the double digit number that 2022 is a 24/6 personal year? And what does the number 24 represent? I'm going to show you. Numerologists really can predict more by going to the numbers before, the double digit numbers before those numbers are reduced to a single digit. So how do we do that when we have huge numbers like 2022? Well, we slice 2000 in half, and then we add 2 plus 2, which is the number 4, and we add the number 4 to the number 20, and 20 plus 2 plus 2 equals 24. Let's look at next year. Next year, the universal year will be 1 year more, 2023. So what will that universal year be? If we add 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3, we come to a 7 universal year, which I will be really describing the elements of that 2023 year more towards the end of the year. But right now, I'll show you that next year, as a numerologist, I will compute what kind of 7 universal year it is by slicing the number 20 in half and then adding 2 plus 3, which is a 5, adding the 5 to the number 20. And next year, 2023, will represent for all of us a 25/7 universal year. Now, on the universal level, in the 24/6 year, we can expect, because it's a 6, 6 represents love, home, and family, adjustments that must be made to your home and family. And how is that done? Well, we don't have to go far. Let's think of the Ukraine. Here in the United States, we may be having a wonderful year, but to the people of Ukraine, there are tremendous adjustments in their life. Some people are moving out. Some people are becoming fighters. Some people are protecting their homes. Food has a shortage there. We're beginning to see a little bit of a shortage with that inflation that we're experiencing of a very high number right here in the United States. And Europe, we know, has their inflationary number has grown a little bit. Governments, though, are going to be more, going to show a more conciliatory approach to each other for the good of all. And when I say a conciliatory approach, I'm looking at, for an example, NATO, and how the countries have come together that are members of NATO to help Ukraine really exist under this violent invasion that it's experiencing from Putin and the Russians. They are helping them with defense, with armaments. They're also helping with sanctions. Now, on a universal level this year, money will be used more to educate children. It will be used for the education of children and protection of children and their safety, for the health of children. Laws will be discussed, future laws promoted to ban certain types of guns and rifles that, are being used to attack children in the classroom. Think of also women and families and family issues. We're going to see a decision come any day now, or we're in the month of June. By the end of June of 2024, the Supreme Court should be coming down with either the exact Roe v. Wade decision that we saw leaked, or some kind of version of that change in Roe v. Wade coming out of another decision. Citizens are going to find themselves being responsible for each other. And we see this by many families in the United States being very, very helpful to people from Ukraine that are coming here, to families in the United States to help them. And perhaps our immigration laws may be adjusted in some way to help people that are suffering in other countries. I think we're going to see the marriage rate go up because it is a marriage year, or people coming together. If they're not married, definitely the rate at which people are living together increased as well. As I mentioned, home and family and love, the element of love of mankind, love of each other, is enough. These are descriptive words for some issues that are going to be discussed on a deeper level this year. It will be a fortunate time for many people in homes and families because of, in the United States at least, and that's because members of our citizenry in the United States have saved a lot of money during the pandemic because they really couldn't go anywhere. So they say there is at least $1 trillion+ that is being saved right now in June of 2022 in the bank accounts of people. So there is more money. Now there is also more money that people are paying at the pump for gasoline, and the cost of food has gone up, but people do have more money to spend. So it is successful in many ways on a financial year for Americans. At least we see that there is $1 trillion or a few $1 trillion that has been saved statistically, and people can afford to be more generous. Your life may appear to be more relaxed and more abundant as you reap the rewards of what you have harvested in former years, and you can be more gracious, at least to others. Now, the universal year 24/6 melts into the personal year vibration that each one of us are experiencing. So we are living on two vibrational levels, most of us. We're living on a 24/6 universal year, and many of us are living in the vibrations of their personal years. These universal years, the universal vibration runs from January to December, and the personal year vibration for each of us also runs from January to December. So these two vibrations mix, and In each one of us, we see elements of the 6 personal year, the 24/6 personal year, as well as our own personal years. That was the 24/6 universal year, and our own personal year vibration. Now, how would we compute the personal year, our own individual personal year vibration? Well, that's easy. We add our own month and year, month and day of birth, your month and day of birth, to the number 24, which is the number of the universal vibration. So if you are born December 28th, as I am, you would add 12 plus 28 to the number 24, universal year number, and that would total the number 64. And then for someone like myself, who's born December 28th, with that 64 personal number that it adds up to, if we add 6 plus 4, we come to the number 10. If we add 1 plus 0, we come to the number 1. So someone born on December 28th, they would be experiencing a 64 or a 10 or a 1 personal year. Why am I leaving the 64 personal year up? Because I want to show you that the type of 1 personal year that I'm experiencing right now, which is a brand new cycle in a 9-year cycle, it's my 1 year. I want to show you the type of 1 year I'm experiencing, because it comes from the number 64. So on one level, the 64 represents, the 6 represents home and family. The 6 represents heavy responsibility. The 6 also represents the number of voice. Here I am on a podcast speaking to you. The 6 represents my number of voice also in court, because I'm a litigator during the day. By avocation, I'm teaching you the elements of numerology. But by day, my day job, my vocational job, is that of a litigator in trust and estates and elder law and public health law, mental health law. So I've got a lot of heavy responsibility on me this year. And plus, I'm enjoying what I'm doing in teaching you. Now, the 4 means I'm putting a foundation under everything. So home and family-wise, I'm putting my grandson through law school. In my business, I'm upgrading it because business is opening vocationally, because the courts are beginning to open up now, because COVID is easing up. I'm putting a foundation underneath what I'm showing you on each episode of Live Your Life by the Numbers. And I decided this year to put everything I knew up there in a podcast for all of you to learn. So it's a pretty heavy year for 1 year for me as a personal year, but it's an exciting 1 year filled with responsibility that I'm thoroughly enjoying what I'm doing. Now, let's take a look at Donald Trump's number, because Donald Trump is born 6/14. So how do we arrive at the personal year for Donald Trump? We add 6 plus 14 to the number 24, which is the universal vibration for everybody out there. And we see for the year 2022, Donald Trump is living in a 44/8 master vibration. Why do I say he's living in a 44/8 master year, because I've already taught you how to compute the number 44, and the number 44 is a master number. So he's moving and working at a very, very high master personal year of the 8 personal year, because 4 plus 4 reduces down to an 8 when we're computing one's personal year. So what would happen in a number 44, 8 personal year? Well, he's clearly all over the place on a master year. He's considering whether he's going to run for president. He's also got responsibilities on a master level for the country as the head of the Republican Party. He's got many speaking engagements. He's got massive engagements also with respect to the legal system. He's making decisions on the professional level as to whether or not he wants to run for president, or also he's facing the possibility of many legal challenges that currently exist on the legal level. Now, within your personal year, we can also compute your personal months. How do we do that? That's easy also. Each of the months of the year have a numeric vibration that they vibrate to. January is the first month of the year. So you would add the number 1 to whatever your personal year ends up to be. So for Donald Trump, the number 1 personal month would be January. We would add that number to Donald Trump's 44. January, we would add a 1 to whatever your personal year is. So 1 added to Donald Trump's 44 personal year for the month of January, Donald Trump would be living in a 45 personal month, or the number 9 personal month, because 4 plus 5 equals 9. If we add 2 to the number 44, because February is always the 2nd month of the year, and March is always the 3rd, April's the 4th, May's the 5th. Right now we're in June, that's the 6th. July is always the 7th. August is always the 8th. September is always the 9th. October is always a 10 or a 1. November is always an 11-2, and 12 is a 3. So we would add a 1 to 44, Donald Trump's personal year, and in January, he would be living in a 45-9 personal vibration. He would be ending things, because the 9 represents an ending number, and a 45-9 represents, well, it's a learning experience. I've gotten this far. Let me see where else I'm going. Sometimes the 45-9 isn't, a gleeful picture, but it does mean I've learned lessons. February would be a 46 month. It would be a month where he does favors for other people, and favors are returned to him. It would be a 46, 1 month, because 4 plus 6 equals 1. March would be a master number, the 47 master number. It would be a very creative month, but he would not be able to really see the forest from the trees with the 47, because he'd be vibrating at a very high level. 48, he's finishing up projects that he's putting a foundation underneath. April would be a 48 month. Why? Because when we add 4 for the month of April to 44, which is also his personal year. 4 plus 44 equals 48. May would be 49. He could be coming into a lot of money in the month of May with his politicking for his own, filling his own coffers. June, the month we're in right now, the month I'm taping this, would be a 50 month. It would be a month of progress. It would be a progressive month. A month of mobility. He might be out there probably early in the month, campaigning for other people. It's got that 0 from 50 in it because 5 plus, in the month of June, 6 plus 44 equals 50. Now, it's got some cosmic protection to it. It's a very fast-moving month. So we'll have to wait and see how the month bears out for him. But it's going to be a very, very active month where he may be flying all over, talking to a lot of people, holding a lot of meetings, doing 2 things because the 5 represents more than one thing happening at one time. In the month of July, he would be at a 51 month, which is a very militant month. Now, that's a very aggressive month. I know because my last name vibrates to the number 51. And as you know, I am a fighter with words as a litigator. I go into court, I fight. I fight for other people's rights, or I defend their rights. So we're going to see him highly militant, aggressive, argumentative in the month of July. In the month of August, he's going to be out of the way a little bit. Maybe he'll take a trip abroad. Maybe he's going to be out of the public eye for the most part, preparing things, because in the month of September, things fly in and fly out of his life. It's a very exciting, unpredictable month that Donald Trump will be facing in the month of September. Why? Because the 5 describes the 3. It's a very creative month, but it's a month where he's going to be all over the place. With something unforeseen will fly in, something unexpected will fly out. Anybody in a 53 personal year, you can sit back, anything can happen in a 53-5. 53, 8. 5 plus 3 equals 8. Personal year of 53, 8 personal month. And he's going to be in an 8 personal month in his 9 year. In the month of September, because the number 9 added to any personal year will give you the number of the personal year. So 9 plus 44, his personal year, equals an 8, a 53-8. The month of October, we would add 10 to 44, which equals a 54 personal month. That's an ending month for him as well. In any 8 year, as we approach September, October, and November, we see things winding down as we're heading towards the 9 personal year. So November would be 11 plus 44 is a 55 year. So we're going to see Donald Trump arrive at some kind of personal achievement in the month of November. And December is going to be a 56 month, which is 11 plus 44 is, no, excuse me, December is 12 plus 44 is a 56 month. And that is a month where people should really lay back, sit back, and not trust everything they see. It's very important to analyze what you see happening, but don't trust what everybody tells you. And I'm going to be going through the personal vibrations for each of the months when we have a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4, all the way up to a 9 personal year for you. But right now, today, I've taught you how to compute the universal year and how to compute your own personal year. Look, using my personal year as an example, and also Donald Trump's 44/8 personal year, going down to each one of the months that he's going to experience personal vibrations this year. So if you've liked this show and you'd like to subscribe to more shows, just hit subscribe down there and send me some message of what you'd like me to show you or teach you. This show is here for you. It's a gift to you. So please let me know if you've liked it and give me any suggestions you might have. As you know, I'm not doing readings, so don't believe it if anybody tells you that they've received a reading from me. I do have books up there, and they're up on Amazon for you, 2 volumes of Live Your Life by the Numbers. Easy, easy to read. A children's book, Raise Your Kids by the Numbers, and a book on the double digits, how to read them. So I really appreciate you coming today and visiting with me. Remember that today is more precious than you know, and don't forget to live each day by the numbers. I shall see you soon for another episode. Bye for now.